Hey guys, in this video we're going to break down how to end the cycle of toxic relationships for good, how to fall back in love with yourself, and how to set your standards and boundaries moving forward so you don't fall into the same old toxic relationships that don't really serve you. So this one's going to be for you if you find yourself out of a relationship, maybe you're feeling a bit down on yourself, but you really want to put yourself back out there. You just don't have the confidence to navigate dating today because you don't want to fall into the same old types of relationships that never really serve you. So bust out your pens and papers because this is going to be a guide for you. It's going to be a path for you to follow. And understand it's not just theory. It's how my client Tiffany went from being broken after a toxic relationship to then being able to identify the patterns that kept her in these wrong types of relationships, and to now having full self-esteem in herself and how she carries herself through dating. And as a result, is attracting a totally different type of guy into her life. When I first met her, she was devastated. She dated a narcissist. He took advantage of her, lied, cheated, the works. She withdrew from friends and family, and her self-esteem had plummeted. It plummeted because she sought a lot of her self-validation from other people, not a lot from within. So when he broke it off, her self-esteem just went like this, completely to the floor. This had her talking to all sorts of strange guys on the internet that she had no business speaking to in the first place. So she knew something had to change. This was a repeated pattern that she'd fall into. She had a low sense of self-worth, she sought validation, it didn't work out, her self-esteem went lower, and it had her settling for less than she deserved. A lot of women go their whole lives like this without even freaking realizing it, and Tiff knew that something had to change. She decided to turn that pain from her past relationship into a source of motivation, and she sought the support that she needed because she knew that she could no longer go about this on her own. Together, we worked to identify the pattern that was keeping her stuck in these same types of relationships. The thing is, she knew she was a catch, but she had this deep-rooted wound from childhood that kept pulling her towards all the wrong types of men. She'd start relationships out strong, but then she'd slowly erase herself because she had these tremendous people-pleasing tendencies that she'd fall back into. So we had to reauthorize her narrative by bringing the unconscious to the light. Her childhood wound, her pattern, it stemmed from growing up in the system. All she wanted was to be chosen by her parents. Unfortunately, that followed her to adulthood, and all of her self-worth came from being chosen. It didn't come from within. When I met her, she was asking me questions like, Al, what can I do to make the right types of guys like me, right? Still living through people's eyes, chasing approval. But now she's asking questions like, who deserves my time? Because we did the work. We had to deprogram her old beliefs about men. She never struggled attracting guys, but it was this childhood wound that was running the show from the shadows. That childhood wound forced her to have a scarcity mindset. Whenever a guy chose to invest some time into her, she'd commit fully. Now she's operating out of a place of abundance, so she's not falling into the same old habits. We installed new beliefs about love, what a healthy relationship looks like at the beginning stages and through long-term stages. Because she has this self-worth that's coming from within, she's able to set her standards and boundaries for all the new guys that come into her life. She's comfortable in her own skin now, and as a result, she's attracting higher quality guys. Maybe you relate to Tiff's story a bit, right? There's a number of things I do with my clients, from inner work to outer work. A little bit of the outer work being like how to text a guy, how to make him commit to you, etc., etc. But none of that stuff would have worked for Tiff if we didn't tackle the 3 core blocks that were keeping her stuck in this pattern. So my offer to you today is to click the link below to get signed up for a free clarity call. On that call, we'll work to identify the core things that are keeping you stuck in this pattern. Because until we become aware of the problem, we'll never be able to solve it. So go ahead and click the link below today, and let's get you some clarity.